on YouTube as well, and I am going live. Hey, everybody on my YouTube channel, hello. Those of you that are watching by Facebook, hello. As you can tell, all of this is sort of, I'm working things out here on YouTube and Facebook, right? So I'm trying something different here because I need my Facebook people to see and hear, and my YouTube channel. Is the lighting good enough? Hold on. Let me turn the lighting system up. All right. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Can you see me well? How is the lighting system? Hello to those of you that are watching my YouTube and those of you that are watching Facebook. Come on in and subscribe. Those of you that are on Facebook and you've not subscribed yet, go on Battles, Battles, and Journeys, Journeys. That's Battles and Journeys, and go and subscribe to my channel. Now, I think you may have to sign up if you don't have like a Gmail or anything of that sort. Thank you for chiming in. Go ahead and hit that like and share button. And then there's a notification bell. There's a little symbol of a bell there. Press that button. And when you press that notification symbol, then you can go up and hit all, not personalize all. I need you to be able to hear and receive all of the messages that I am, all of the videos that I am putting out and am about to put out. Just want to share a few things with you. Go ahead, share this live, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, share this live. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, go over to YouTube and hit and type in Battles and Journeys. That's Battles and And Journeys, Journeys. Thank you, those of you that have sent me messages and thanking me for sharing my story. It is my story. At the end of the day, it is something that I have experienced, and my endeavor is to help everyone that I possibly can help and get you in a place and space of your life that you can talk about all the things that you have encountered and endured, and to help other people. The reason why we share our stories and share our experiences is so that there are those that are going through and will go through some of the things that we share. Now, I just need to know, I need somebody, I know some of you may not want to be seen, but I need somebody to tell me that you can hear me. Hey, Charles, you can hear me. The lighting is right. The volume is right. Can you hear me? I see several people on my YouTube, on my Facebook. Just let me know that you can hear me and that the sound is right, because I can't, but if you can, great. If you can't, please, 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 please let me know. Again, thank you for those of you who have come and inboxed me personally saying, thank you for sharing. Thank you, Charles, that you hear me on YouTube. I need to hear from my Facebook folks. Can you hear me? Those of you that have inboxed me to thank me for sharing some of the experiences that I have. Hold one moment. I need to just adjust this lighting and get this lighting closer. I'm a little dark, so sometimes I need more lighting than others. And seemingly, it is light on one side and dark on the other. I'm trying to work this out. Please bear with me. Give me a moment. I promise you, I'm going to jump into what I'm doing, and I want to help you. And I want to help you recognize some things. Just one moment, please. Yes. Want to help you recognize some things, and some things you don't have to go through what I've gone through, because I'm going to give you the wisdom of it all. And then all right. So I think that's going to be better. All right. So that's much better, I think. Right. So some things that we go through things for a reason, and we share. And the reason we share is so that we can help other people avoid some of the things that we've experienced, right? And that's my purpose of sharing. And I want to bring some type of enlightenment to the situation so that you can be enlightened and that you can be encouraged and you can know that you don't have to. Thank you. You'll know that you don't have to put up with, endure, and then you'll know how to seek out for counseling. Sometimes all you need is a counselor. You need somebody to help you through the process, whatever that process is, whatever that process looks like, right? So it's so vitally important that we know how to deal with these things. And when people come to you with quote unquote scriptures to try to manipulate and control your situation and to control your life and to control what you're experiencing, you'll know how to counteract all of that. And it's so important, right? So let me make this disclaimer right now. All right. So I don't find hatred in my heart towards anyone, even to the one who violated me, even to the one who covered up the violation in the church. And that would be Corbell Fails. And George Bloomer is the one that did the violation. And we've been talking about it. I'm going to let you hear other conversations. And at one point of my life, I said, no, I won't call names because I was asked, could I tell my story without calling names? That is still covering up for those who have been in cahoots and who's tried to destroy an individual. You have to expose and disclose. Sometimes it's people that you really like. And sometimes people get upset because they know these individuals and they hate to think that someone did something of this sort that they know. But we have to bring people to accountability. We really do. We have to bring people to accountability and say, hey, let's talk about this, because obviously there's got to be some truth to this. You can't keep running from. We can't keep running from and covering up and smoothing over. So when I call names and people ask, well, why are you doing this to that person? I'm not doing it to that person. I am sharing my life experiences. I'm sharing my story and how it affected me. And it is my endeavor to help everyone that have experienced or are experiencing or going to experience some of the things that I've experienced. And I want you to be encouraged and know that you do not have to experience some of those things. Hold on. I think I got it set up. Wow, I think only subscribers can send messages. So you'll have to subscribe to my channel, go to YouTube and set up a little whatever email and go to my channel, Battles and Journeys. Are y'all able to see me? I know I'm real dark, but it's okay. So I want to make that disclaimer, because people think when you start sharing truth about your experience and your history, they say, oh, well, why he don't like that person? Or it's not that I don't like the person. I don't like the system and the cover up. And have no hatred. And to this day could sit down and have a conversation with these people, but they refused, or she refuses to have a conversation with me. Now, it is vitally important to know that I do not hate anyone. But why are you doing this? Because you won't. Or why are you sharing this now? Because I'm at liberty to share it now. Thank you. Thank you, T-Bird. Hey, how are you? Why are you sharing this now? Because I'm at liberty to share it now. I'm strong. I have inward strength now that I can talk about it. What took you so long? I wasn't strong enough to talk about it. I was embarrassed. I was weak inside because I was embarrassed and ashamed. And at some point I was trying to protect my family when in actuality I needed to be protected, because my family certainly would have protected me had they known that I was experiencing or have experienced such trauma in the house of God, under the guise of God. Now, nobody is perfect. Nobody, not a person. You show me a perfect person, and I'll show you if you show me a perfect church, let me just say that I'll show you an imperfect church. But what people should do is be able to go back to the table and let's have a meeting of the minds, right? And let's make amends and apologize for the things that you didn't do and the things that you did do. Can y'all see me well? Hey, Joe, can y'all see me well on Facebook? It just seemed like I'm a little dark on Facebook. I'm very clear on my YouTube channel. So run right on over to my YouTube channel because I'm going to only say so much and share so much on Facebook. But when it comes down to these recordings and what the conversation is, I'm going to run back over to YouTube. And so that you'll have to go over to YouTube to listen to the conversations. All right. So I want to be very, very clear. I do not hate anyone. I do not hate anyone that's involved. It has caused me a lot of pain throughout life. It caused me a lot of hurt and trauma throughout life. And someone asked, how can something so bad happen to you that's supposed to be in a good place? Well, bad things do happen in good places, and good things happen in bad places. So we have to be able to balance it out and talk about it all. Someone asked me, well, why don't you just talk about the good of the church? Well, I'm going to get to that. But it won't be about, I'll get to that. But you got to talk about the bad. You can't just escape. You can't just push over what happened to you as an individual because, oh, we just want to try to protect what we have and we want to make sure it looks good. Well, it's false advertisement because if you tell me the truth and tell me bad things happen in these places, then it will give me something to brace myself for. Because church is not a perfect place with perfect people. But I would look for it to be a place that people can be honest and tell the truth and apologize for the error and to apologize for the wrongdoings. But the pride of the individuals won't let them apologize. The pride of the person, because what they've done, they've told lies and they want you to believe, to continue to believe the lie. Hey, niece, they want you to continue to believe the lie they told you. So they don't want you to hear the other parts to it, the moving parts to it, because it's going to pull the covers off of the lies that has been spewed out from the mouth of those who are supposed to be of the clergy. We know these things happens in church. We know the place is not a perfect place. But I would like to know that I'm in a position and in a place and space that I give my money, time, and talents to, that at least a leader can be honest enough to say, hey, I missed it. I messed up. I should have did something differently. I'm sorry. How can I make amends? They won't do that. Not all of them. I can tell you this. When I moved away to Atlanta, Georgia, I started going to Citadel of Hope, Nathan Simmons Church, right? And the moment that man stood up and said, you have a pastor that has done almost everything in the book. You don't have a perfect pastor. To me, that made me cling to the church because I know at least my leader is honest. If your leader can't ever admit to doing wrong, I don't want to be a part of anything that a leader, you're supposed to be the example. And if you can't say, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a part of that. So when he stood up and said, I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. I'm taking daily steps day by day, just like you. He said, just because I'm standing up here in this pulpit doesn't make me any better than you. And so that won me over. I can listen to a person who can be transparent, who can be honest. If I don't know, if you can't share anything, now I'm not talking about, there are those who say, I can share with you about my life before Christ. No, I want to hear, because you ain't been saved since you've been saved, right? According to the people. You have done some things in your walk. You could help us if you say, listen, I've been there, done that. I've been on the other side of that. Or I've been this or that. I can jail with you. And this is why it's so catastrophic when things start hitting the fan, because you as a person, a leader, has pretended that you've done no wrong and that you have always been in a right place. So when stuff do come out, now you look bad, or you lie and try to protect your character or protect your name per se. I can deal with you better when you can be honest. See, for me, you can't tell on me because I tell on myself. I can tell you some of the roads I walk down. I can tell you some of the paths and the pain and the trauma that I've dealt with. People can relate to you better if they feel like you making daily steps just like them. But when you pretend that you live above all of that, then when stuff does come out, it becomes scandalous. At least if you are honest and transparent and something comes up, you can say, you know what, my pastor told me this already. My leader told me this already. My daddy told me this already. My mother told me this already. You're not sharing anything new. But when you try to cover up, it starts stinking. And it is actually hurting the person that is carrying the weight. I can't tell you how much pain I found myself in trying to protect my family, to keep them from knowing what I've experienced in the church. And my family felt like the church stole me from them. And in actuality, they did. Because they started saying, you know, if your family want to be with you, let them be with you in church. It was never about family in this particular church. Here, right here in Palaco. Grace and Truth. I just wish people would just match the name of what they're going through. You see? Hey, sis, I wish people would just be honest enough, bold enough to be transparent and not try to make people feel like they've never made any mistakes. Because when the covers are snatched, now people see that you weren't the person that you say you were or pretended to be. Just be honest with people. What you said, T-Bird, the pastors who did me and my family dirty is trying to tell this day to justify her actions. She pastored with her husband. Listen, it's better. Hey, Rena, it's better just to be honest and say, I jacked this thing up. I didn't handle this right. But your pride won't let you do it, because you don't want anybody to know that you partook in such damnable evil. Just be honest. Why is it so hard for us to be honest? People lie because I'm going to tell you what lies at the root of a lie. They lie to keep you from finding out the truth. They do not want you to know that they were involved in this, and they'll skate around it, all of that. And people lie to protect themselves. Just tell the truth. We could take you better by telling the truth. But no, we paint this image. Especially in the Black Christian church, we paint this image as if we got it together, always had it together, and always will have it together. I can't relate to an individual that has it together. I need to relate to somebody that has had failure, just like I've had failure, or deal with pain like I've dealt with pain. You can't win me over if you pretend to be perfect. I need to talk to somebody that's on my level. So I have to, again, make this disclaimer. I don't hate anybody. All the names that I call, I don't hate any of them. But I have to mention and share my experience. And if you were a part of that story, then you really can't get angry. I'm just telling my story. I just heard recently that this pastor, apostle, um, Cora Fails, told her people, don't listen to what I'm saying. And if you listen to him, that means you are for him. You see that kind of witchery and control because you only want people to believe the lies you've been telling. It's better to tell the truth. Why can't we tell the truth? What are you afraid of? Who are you afraid of? So when I start calling names, I'm not angry, but I have to share it. Because if I keep smoothing it over, and I'm going to call names and I'm going to talk about situations, if I keep smoothing over, I'm still protecting those who were in violation or who violated. And for some reason, as a people, we have a tendency to protect those who are violators and leave the victims hanging to dry out themselves. Why do we do that? Why do we leave people, the ones that everybody run to? Oh, I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for him. I just feel, no, I'm not telling you this so you can feel sorry for them. I'm not. I mean, you can feel sorry for them once they're in jail. Send them a little money on their little books and all of that. I'm not telling this story so you can feel sorry for me. I am speaking and telling my story so that there are those who have experienced what I've experienced in the church, not outside the church, in the church. And you'll know how to get through this process. You'll know exactly how to get through this process and how to deal with it. You just have to find that space, that safe place and space in your life, and surround yourself with the right people. I wouldn't want a leader that's not accountable, but you go and get a covering that lives way off there because they don't know you. They live way off and they don't know, they can't really come and check on you. They got you a little $5,000 so that, you pay them to come and consecrate you and all of that kind of stuff. And they live thousands of miles away or hundreds of miles away. And they really don't know what you've done and doing to people. So again, I don't hate it. I'm going to call names and I am going to. But I don't hate any of these people. I had a chance to talk to George Bloomer, and I'm going to play a clip from him as well. But it's going to be on my YouTube channel. So if you're not on my YouTube channel, you won't be able to hear. I won't do it on Facebook. And so go and subscribe, hit like, share, and subscribe. And then there's a little notification bell you'll see. Hit that bell and then hit all, not personalized. Just hit all so you get all the videos that I will be making from here on out. So I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm going to share my story, and no one gets to tell me how to tell it. I had someone try to tell me, this is why I don't go back and forth with, I try to understand sometimes people, but I don't go back and forth with my critics. It takes too much energy and it takes me away from my focus. And I'm a very focused a person. I'm very focused on what I'm doing. I know exactly the direction I'm going and want to go. Yes, I'm writing a book. Yes, I'm writing a book, and it will not be a pamphlet. It will not be a scrapbook. It's going to have content. So just know and understand what I share. I know some of y'all got to be in the woods because you don't want them to know, and that's fine. I applaud you. And go back and hit the replay. You don't have to. Let me just tell you how to do it, because I know some of you are afraid, right? Oof, adults afraid. But when you're on my Facebook page, if you don't want to be seen, don't click on the video. Just watch it from your timeline. Watch it from the timeline, and nobody ever know that you're here. All right. Protect your identity if that's what you want to do. But I'm calling names. So I just really want to share with my YouTube channel and Facebook Live. I know some of you have been through some traumatic times. Not just in one area, church, home. Some have been violated by uncles and aunts and babysitters and godmothers and godfathers. And it has happened. And I know of cases where the mother's boyfriend violated the son, and the son finally came out, and the son and the mother became very angry and put the child out, because she didn't want to get rid of her boyfriend. And she didn't want to listen to anything that the child said. And he's saying, mommy, this one, hey Gail, this one he touched me, or he did this. And then you put the child out, you beat the child, but you hold on to the boyfriend because you chose dick over your child. Excuse my expression, but bump the election. You chose all of that over your child, and your child is hurting, going through challenges because they've shared their experience with someone that's supposed to be able to. They shared their experience with someone who is supposed to protect them. But the person that was supposed to protect them pushed them to the side and embraced the one who violated them. And now not only is that child dealing with the violation, that child is also dealing with the rejection of the parent or the adult in the room. So think about, stop telling your child, don't say that. We're not going to talk about that. No, talk about it. I want to wake up the ears of those who has been in silence and suppressed and oppressed because they have gone through so much in their childhood or their young adult life, and they can't function as an adult. Please hear me. Listen to your children. Listen to your nieces and nephews. Find out what has happened to them, and then take action, and whatever that action is. I'm doing it my way. People say, why don't you just do it this way? You don't get to control my story. I write in ink. You see, I write in ink, so you can't erase it. If I write it in pencil, then you can erase it. I write with my pen. It's metaphorically speaking, meaning I'm writing in something that's permanent. And you don't give people the opportunity to change the narrative of your story. And they would like to change the narrative of your story. And these leaders, let me just say this, Corbell just won't be honest. She'd rather for you to believe it's me. Oh, he's always had that problem. What? So you invited George Bloomer back after he violated us, me and Michael Tripp? You invited him back because you said, I only got him back because he's going to help me get some of the other big time preachers that I've been wanting to come to my church. Lady, you just covered up a sex crime. I don't hate her. Actually, I think my disappointment was she didn't do anything about it, but covered up. She covered it up. But the hand that she said was clean, because she would always say, oh, my hands are clean. She was just stating that she doesn't masturbate. And hadn't been with a man since the 70s. And that's great. That's on you. But at least tell the truth. You have to be able to tell the truth. Please. If your heart is dirty, that's on you. Well, I've asked God to forgive me. And sometimes you got to go to people and ask them to forgive you. I know I'm calling names. I am. And I'm not afraid. I know they've been told not to listen to me because if they listen to me, they must be for me. Just be on the right side of truth. That's all you have to do. Be on the right side of truth. Oh, but we got to cover up for our leaders. No, you don't cover up. You bring them into accountability. So let's have a conversation. What is this that's being said? And some of them, they already know. So you don't have to die in the situation that you're in. You don't have to ball up and be silent and die with your story. You do not have to deal with this alone. I see a counselor. Even to this day, I speak with a counselor. Thank you, Rena. Rena said, I'm ready for the book and I don't care who knows. Listen, it's coming out. I'm writing a book because you need to hear what happened. You need to see there are people who are going through the same thing, and others have made them feel so bad they won't talk about it, scared to tell their family. Because if you grew up in a system like I grew up in the church that you see that was up. Now, let me just share this with you. I posted that church because that's the church at 13 I started in. Now, we grew up in another church, but at 13 I went to this church, and I really liked it. It was young people there, and I felt like, hey, I socializing at 13. See? And so that was the church. It ain't some building that I just picked out of the blue. That was the church. The toilets was bad. I didn't know. I just really didn't know a lot of things. I was young. I was 13 years old going to that church. And I remember my mother said to me one day, because they had service for the whole month, right? And I came during that. I think it was a youth council meeting, a youth convention. I don't know the difference because and so I remember I enjoyed it. I remember sitting in the back of the church. I went and gave what they call, giving my life to God. And I went up there and they had me calling on Jesus, 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 up there, and the spit foam coming out my mouth because you done said it so much, it's spit. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And you got one person on one end with stink breath saying, hold on. And then you got somebody on the other end, give up. I'm confused because I don't know whether to hold on or give up. Call him like you mean it. I'm 13. Call him like you mean it. Oh, and then you get louder and louder. Louder and louder. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. You just start foaming at the mouth, which is crazy. They call it tearing service, right? Terror means wait. And so we carried on and carried on and carried on. I remember those wooden benches and carried on. Thank you. Yes, the truth will prevail, Bird, T-Bird. I just carried on. But I'm young and I don't know I'm getting myself in an occult. I don't know I'm getting myself in a place that they're going to control and manipulate. I'm young. And I remember coming back home and I was washing dishes and I had already planned I'm going back to church, but church has been a month long every single night. And I came back here and I remember my mama telling me when the van came, I think it was the bus. They got the big bus. The bus came. I said, Mama, the bus is out here. She said, you're not going anywhere. You need to stay home and get some rest. And I cried standing at the kitchen table, the kitchen sink. I cried because I was looking forward to going to church. That was really my outlet. I'm the youngest of 8, going to school. Just excited about going to church. My mother always raised us up in the church. We went to McNair's church over there at the Apostolic Church. And I remember I cried to go to church. And my mama said, okay, I'm going to let you go this time. But you're not going to be going to church every night. And when I got older, my mother told me, she said, the only reason I let you go, she said, because I know people aren't who they say they are. Because my mother knew. I mean, she knew that, she knew as an adult that people aren't who they said they are. And she used to tell me that all the time. She said, boy, I'm telling you, people aren't who they say they are. But she told me, she said, the only reason I let you go, she said, because you cried to go to church. She said, and I said, you know what? I'm going to let my baby go because at least I know where he's at. At least I know he's at church and he's not in the streets. She said, that is why I let you go, because you were crying to go to church and at least you weren't going in the streets. She said, even though you were gone all night because they would keep us in church all night, she said, I knew where you were. I wasn't worried about you. That's what she said. I was not worried about you because I knew you were in church. My mother trusted the church with her child. And this is what it ends up being. So yeah, my mother was older. I'm the baby of 8. My mother raised all of us by herself, working on in fields and farm work to make sure that we had supply, that we were supplied with life necessities. And that is why she let me stay and go. But I started seeing something. I remember in this church. No, let me back up. I was saying to you all, if you're from Palaca or in Palaca, or you connected to that family, if you don't remember that being a church, then certainly you can't go back and forth with me about my story because you weren't born. You weren't even born. And I remember a situation happening, and I was like, shut in. We're going to shut in. I wanted to go and shut in because I thought this was the thing to do. I had a hunger and a thirst and a zeal. And I remember asking the pastor, I said, can I stay and shut in? It was just me, right? And I guess that was impressive to see someone so young was going so hard after after God or the zeal. And so they took to me, and I remember that night stand in the church praying, or at least I thought I was praying. And I'm gonna tell you why I said that. I'm gonna tell you later why I say that. I was just praying and seeking, and oh God, do it, Jesus, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, hallelujah. Not knowing that was just praising. Because that's really all. Hey, Sharon, that's all I heard them do. They called for prayer. Of course, the pastor go to sleep during the prayer, and people be afraid to wake her up because they're like, well, she sleep. No, prayer from 12 to 1. And she slept the whole time. And it's okay, because she's human. I give her a pass. But every time you come to prayer, you sleep. And I remember sitting in that church, laying there. It was at night. Because what I would do, I would stay and shut in at night, get up in the mornings, go back to my mama's house, get dressed for school. I had such a zeal without knowledge. And I remember she had a meeting. I know it's going to really ruffle their feathers to know that I remember this. I remember having a meeting. I remember them having a meeting. And I was landing on those hard brown pews, calling myself praying, and I'm in there by myself, and they come in. I seen her walk through the door, and Sister Pearline McCoy and Pastor Lilybell McCaskill. Now I love me some Sister Lilybell McCaskill. Everybody that know Lilybell McCaskill know that she did not change. She was a very sweet lady, and eventually the lady disliked her too, because Sister Lilybell was one that even if you left the church, she would still talk to you. And that went against the grain of that leader, because see, that leader didn't want anybody to talk to anyone that has ever left the church. Oof. Disgusting, I know. And I love Sister Lilybell. She was always consistent, regardless of where she saw you. She hugged you, she laughed, she embraced you. But that pastor didn't like that. And so eventually they started disliking her too for those reasons. Sister Lilybell just did not have the heart of those people, of that pastor. Again, I've never had an issue with the people. It's always been that leader, because she tried to control. Yes, T-Bird, Daryl was great. He was hurting for me. And it just hurt him to see. And see, he had access to all the audios, and it just hurt him to hear it, right? So anyways, I remember busting through the door. I'm young, 13. And they go back into this meeting. They go back into this office. It was a very small office. The bathrooms were during that time you could smell the toilet because it was always backed up. It was just always a raggedy place, right? But we didn't care because that's where we had church. So they went in that office, and all of a sudden, I heard this pastor get loud and beating on her. But why? Yeah, she just carrying on. I'm like, and I'm 13, but I don't quite know. But at the time, I didn't know Sister Pearline McCall was leaving the church. She was telling her I'm leaving, but Corbell was trying to bully her into staying. And so I heard this beating on her and boom, and why? And she just carried on. I couldn't understand, but I knew she was hollering at the top of her voice. And that's how, people start screaming loud and talking loud to try to control you and make you fear. So your loud talk doesn't cause me to fear. Your bullying ways doesn't. Matter of fact, it emboldens me. It makes me more bold to tell my story. Oof. I didn't know that this lady was controlling at 13. I didn't know she was a manipulator. I didn't know she was trying to dominate people and control people's personal life. Yes, Rena, we stayed in the church at 2 a.m. You said that's one of the reasons you never visit. Thank God, because you would be telling your story too. We started church and would be in all night, get out at 2 o'clock in the morning and get back to my mama's house at 3 in the morning. It was so bad until, well, this is embarrassing, but it was so bad. My 9th grade year, I missed 72 days. That meant, because they had to call me in, I was missing every Monday of school. My mother didn't know. My mother went to work before the sun came up. And when she came, I wasn't here because I was over there at that woman's house, because she would use me to, at one point, to drive the car as I became an adult, older, drive the car to drop people off from the bus stop, from the work bus stop to Ragsdale, and then bring them back to church. Didn't never think about this boy's in school. He needs to study. You see? Hey, Hadessa. And so I didn't know that she was trying to bully Sister Pearlie McCoy into staying. But eventually, because I loved her, I loved Sister Pearlie McCoy, and I would go to her street services with her. She was a powerful woman. Actually, she preached the word. And I think that's probably where all that insecurity and intimidation came, because people liked Pearlie McCoy. And eventually, Pearlie McCoy still left. The husband stayed, but eventually he left. So all this bullying people into staying in your church. Yeah. So I didn't know at that age that this is what was going on, but I know I heard all that noise in the background. And lo and behold, I didn't know that me and Michael Tripp would be sodomized in this church. And the leader covered it up. And still today won't face the music. I guess before a judge she will, but but she's old now, but she's still the same. She hadn't changed. She's still asking, how's your cousin? For the bells. Just looking, just a mess. I wish she would do better. I really do. Now, we'll never have the same type of relationship ever. And so I'm endeavored to tell my story, and I'm going to listen. I'm going to switch over. Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you're being violated now, y'all go to the police. I mean, talk to your parents. Well, look at this R. Kelly thing. See, when I don't feel sorry for R. Kelly. I don't. I believe he did it. And I also believe, this is my belief, some of the parents know he was doing it, and also believe they were getting paid off too. People will settle for money. They will settle. That you're selling your child into slavery, into sex slavery. Yeah. Yeah. But these are the types of churches that will and has always preached against the Catholic Church. They always talk about, well, yeah, all these boys that they don't mess with, but it was going on in the Pentecostal churches, the black churches. Yeah. So all going on in the black churches too, but they get up and preach against it, but allowed it in their church. Some of these pastors right now sleeping with their little young armor bearers, saying these are my armor bearers. Armor bearers covering them in the daytime and the pastors covering them at night. That's all I'm saying. And a lot of it is leadership has been so traumatized in their personal life, they come and traumatize you as a people. They never got any counseling, never been accountable to anybody. You need to pull your pastors aside and say, listen, and I know Back then, even now, she said, well, yeah, you don't question the pastor. Okay. I can't be a member of the church that I can't question the leader. I remember, I'm going to give you an example. I was in the Nathan Simmons church, and I remember he preached something, and this is never to bash my pops. I mean, I call him my pops. It was under Nathan Simmons' ministry that really started my healing. First of all, it was a man leadership. I needed that in my life. That gave me structure. See, I grew up with a one parent in a one parent home. My mother raised us. Then to actually go to church where there's a female leader that is not married, and to still try to run the church like a house, I needed that structure from a male leader. And when I got there, I felt like something broke off of me. I sure did. I felt things correcting inwardly for me, being under a male leader. Call it what you want to call it. And I remember one time he preached something, and I do study the word. And when he finished preaching, I marched up to the office. Hey, sis, I marched up to the office. I said respectfully, I need you to show me in this Bible what you just preached. This is not here. Show it to me. You have to be able to say, listen, I don't understand what you just said. Please share with me why you're saying this. You still have to be able, see, being a leader doesn't give you a pass. And for some reason, our people like to be led. And the leadership don't want you to think on your own. For some reason, I don't know why we feel like, oh, somebody else got to think for me. No, don't be a crippled thinker. Don't be a crippled thinker where people think for you. They think your whole move. Don't be that kind of thinker. Be a critical thinker. Sort things out. Because I know that's what Corbell said when in the church. Oh, God don't talk to you. He talked to the leader to talk to you. The curtain has been rent. The veil has been torn and rent. We can go to God for ourselves. For a leader to tell you who you can and cannot talk to, that's control, manipulation, and witchcraft. Yeah, I'm calling names because that's where I was. If you don't know that picture that I put up there, and if you don't know that was a church, we can't really have a conversation if you're trying to combat me, because that's where I was, right? So if you need a leader to think for you, see, God gave you your own mind. And I know they'll get up and preach against you. Yeah, you think you're grown, because that's what the stuff I used to hear. Yeah, you think you're grown, and you think you can, but God speaks to the leader for you. That's a damnable evil. You mean to tell me, so it's mind control. I can control your mind. And when I was younger, our family, they used to say, oh, y'all being brainwashed. I didn't even know what brainwash was. I was a teenager. I was kind of closed in, didn't have much experience, and living in a small town, didn't really go anywhere but school and church. And they used to always say, that lady brainwashing y'all. All she wanted is y'all money. All she wanted the people money. She did brainwashing you. Yes, I just saw that T-Bird, you said that's why she's evil. She's been deprived sexually. Well, it happens because they told you couldn't even. I remember they said if you got an erection as a man, you were living in lust. That's the spirit of lust. An erection as a boy going from teenage to, you get it. Things happen. Things go up. Things move. Things hang. Well, thank God mine did. Some of y'all, some can't hang. It's just a little nub. And thank God I've been blessed a couple of times. And so they tell you, oh, you must be in sin. Do you know we couldn't even laugh and have fun? They said, oh, that's the spirit of folly. Ooh, Jesus. Come out of that bondage. Just come out of that bondage. Yes, Sheila stuff. Listen, I had to go through it to help other people. I mean, I'm sorry it happened to me too. Had my mother ever found out, I promise you somebody would be grass. My mother would have set it off, but they separated me from my family as a little boy. Yeah, I was brainwashed. I didn't know it then. People would say, oh, y'all been brainwashed. All we did was stayed in church. And they say, well, if your family wanted to see you and be around you, let them come to church with you. What is that for? Let me tell you something about family. And let me tell you something about the Bible, because I know the Bible very well. I want you to hear this. The first institution God ever put together was family. It was not church. I think I'll take a sip of water off of that. The first institution that God ever put together was family, not the church. When you make church your all in all, and you stay away, and if you're sitting in a church where leadership does not promote family and does not promote family time, you need to get up and get out. Take your ducks and move them to another pond. If they tell you to put church over your family, family is the first institution God put together. He didn't put the church together first. Family. I feel like I'm in church now. Touch 3 people and say family. I know it's pandemic time. You can't really, well, y'all touching anyhow. So the first institution God put together is family. And if you're part of a place that does not promote family, get out. Get out. Because they're coming to divide your family. Hit that like and subscribe button and hit all. There's a little notification bell there. There's a little symbol of a bell. Hit that, hit all. Share this, comment, share this live. Share it. I want people to see it. Share it. I'm coming forth. I'm coming through. And I have come over. I'm here now. They shouldn't have never let me lose my shame. They shouldn't have never let me drop the shame and the pain of it, because I can talk about it. And I am going to call names. Oh, yeah. Hey, hey. Yes, I am. Yes. Yes, Rennie, you said yes. Sex trafficking been happening amongst family. Yes. And people think let's not talk about it. Shh. They want you to don't say nothing. It's going to make us look bad. It's going to make the church look bad. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the individual who's been violated. Yeah, I've been violated. Yeah, by a guest pastor, a preacher. And I'm going to let you hear some of the conversation. But you're going to hear that on my YouTube channel. You have to go to Battles and Journeys, BATTLES and JOURNEYS. You have to subscribe. Hit that subscription button, then hit that subscribe button. Then there's a symbol that it looks like a bell. I'm getting ready to run over there now. So those of you that are on my Facebook channel, you got to run over to hear the rest of this, because I'm getting ready to let you hear a conversation. Hit that notification bell. There's a symbol that it looks like a bell. Touch it, and you'll see all personalized and all of that. Hit all, because you need to hear. Get the notification of all my videos. I'm going to tell it. I've got to tell it. I'll tell it everywhere I go. Oh, so as you can tell, I'm from the church. I don't hate the church. I hate the system. The system. See, I'm after that system more than I am an individual. Now, the individual is going to be begotten. Don't ever misconstrue that. Right? I'm after the corrupt system of the church that allow these things to go on and not protect the victims. Do you know there are people, and I'm going to share this and I'm going to go ahead and go over to my YouTube channel. Do you know that there are churches that will invite you to come and minister, but they'll ask you, what is it that you like, so we can have it ready for you? Do you like a man or do you like a woman? They have church whores or prostitutes where they set you up and send them to your room. Y'all don't believe me, but I know for a fact. I know it like, what's his name? It was reported to me. Yeah. So they will set you up. They call you in to minister, but they got this list. Okay, what is it that you desire? You want a male or female to come to your room? And when you get there, they preaching to the people, but getting laid. Hey, Sims, they're getting laid. They are coming with their plans already mapped out. And then there are those who would invite you to come preach so that they can sleep with you, or to see if they can sleep with you. They knock on your room door. Hear your knocking, but you can't get in. Oh, I can tell you some stuff. I can tell you some stuff. It will blow your wig off and pull back your edges about what the church has going on. The system, the corrupt system. They'll sleep with you and get up and preach against you. The pastors are preaching against same gender loving people, but their organist is their lover. Now, what organ is he playing? Oh, this is my son in the gospel. Son in the day. And my mouthpiece at night. But get up and preach on you after they just finished laying with you and preaching against something that they're preaching against something publicly that they're doing in private. And some of you women, you married these men knowing that they like what you like. I like what you like. You like, you married them thinking was going to change them. Putty cat don't change that. You married a man that's more feminine than you. He dresses you up. You married that man thinking your vagina was going to change him. When George Bloomer did what he did right in Palatka, he was married, according to him. But he was still sleeping with boys. Yeah, they don't like us. That's what they say. I'm just saying, people were still being violated. And you mean to tell me a leader they can't discern that? You getting them back to back. I had a pastor call me from Atlanta, because they get him all the time. And they told me whatever they wanted to hear, whatever. And they said, oh, I heard all of this. And see, some of y'all people are so engulfed with the man cussing so much, but you're missing out on the violation. You got a problem with him cussing, but you ain't got a problem with him. For the life of me, I don't understand our mindset. You're so concerned about the man cussing, and you have forgotten about the violations. That's right, Sims. They don't like this kind of teaching. You so involved. Oh, I can't believe he cussing like that. Oh, he's a man of God, but he was. So you okay with him, but you're not okay with him cussing? I got a lot to tell you. I really do, but I'm gonna take my time. I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need 1,000 people to subscribe. And then I'm going to really share some really stuff. Go subscribe. Don't just watch the channel. Go hit subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. So this is why I'm getting off of Facebook, because some things I'm getting ready to share right now that I won't share on Facebook. I could, not that I can't, but I need you to come over to my YouTube channel. All right. Those of you that are on Facebook, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. And share this video. I'm going to make it public. It's public. I want them to see it. I want everybody to see it. Them, him, shim, all of them. See this video, because you need to come out of this place where thank you, Sharon. Thank you. You need to come out of this hell hole that you think is protecting you. And they're not. They don't have your best interest at heart. All they want to do is control you, manipulate you. They want to keep you around so they can keep manipulating and controlling. And they don't want you to hear this because they don't want this to reveal the truth, because that will snatch the covers off of their lies. Oh, hear me. I come to warn. I'm here. I'm waiting for their arrival. Please come. And the first thing, yeah, he don't like me. He don't like what I stand for. What do you stand for, lady? Because you allowed this man to come in and sodomize 2 of your boys and then turn around and got him back to come preach at your church based on what you thought he was going to do for you. Clergy covering up a sex crime. Woo! I'm here and I'm ready. All right, Facebook. Yes. Clergy covering up a sex crime. But you get up and you preach against this, that, and the other. But let me ask you something before I leave Facebook, because I'm going right on over to my YouTube channel. Let me ask you this, because I find it strange that this pastor can protect a prostitute but hate homosexuals. Your son got caught up in 2 stings, but you protect him because that's your son. But you get up and preach against another sexual activity, and he's a minister in your church. Believe it or not, I believe he could run the church better because he's got a broad mind. But anyways, Facebook, I have to go. But I'm going right on over to my YouTube channel. I'm already on YouTube. Come, please share. Come to YouTube. Battles and Journeys, BATTLESAND space AND Journeys, JOURNEYS. Thank you, Facebook. I love you all for coming in. And those of you that are hiding behind the bushes, I thank you too. You don't ever have to reveal yourself. You don't ever have to reveal yourself. All right. So I'm not trying to call you out, because you need to hear this message. And I know some of you need to hear it so you can take it back. And hopefully, if y'all are being violated, come up out of that junk. If you're being manipulated, come up out of that junk. I know they're gonna come. She'll come by your house and ask, why you ain't been to church? Why you won't come? What we did to you? We ain't never did nothing to them. You are a lying wonder. Anytime somebody could say, oh, we never did nothing to them. You mean to tell me you're 1,000 years old and you never did nothing wrong to nobody? To anyone? I'm sorry, I'm so politically correct. I have to correct myself. Get up out of that manipulation. Get up out of that foolishness. You in a church that ain't never grown, can't get past 50 adults. The little bitty teeny weeny tiny weeny babies got to grow up to be an adult, and then they add that as an adult. Get out of there. If they're controlling you, leave. And that's that. Go to my YouTube channel. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm about to share a message with you, and you don't want to miss it. I feel like I'm in the camera. I am. You don't want to miss this message. I got something I have to share with you. Thank you, Marcellus. I have to share with you because I have receipts. You know, back then they kept saying, well, you ain't got no receipts of what he did. But I got the conversation, and they got mad because I have a conversation. And I got the conversation by mistake. Didn't even know it. Well, show me proof of what he did to you. I got conversations. I'm about to let you hear it on YouTube right now. Run over Battles and Journeys. Go to my YouTube channel, and you'll get an opportunity to hear some of the other unheard clips that you've never heard. All right, Facebook, thank you. I'm going over to my YouTube. Listen, and so if you are a part, thank you, Kitty. If you are a part of some foolishness of that sort, I'm going to make sure I save this, and I don't want to ever delete it because I need people to share. I need people to share on okay, hold on. Post now. Never delete. Yeah, so I need people to share because I need this to get out. See, people try to stifle the truth. They try to mute the truth. I stayed muted for years. Didn't talk about it. Part of the reason was I still didn't want my mother to know, because I didn't want my mother dying with hatred in her heart, because I know she would have hated Corbell Fails. She would have, and would have done a few other things. Actually, I stopped somebody from doing something just last year. They sent me a message. They said, I'm ready. I said, don't do it. Please don't do it. Please do not do it. And they listened to me. Don't do it. Somebody, and then you have weak people. You have people that say, well, let's let God handle it. Oh, no, 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 no. God can handle things, but he left it up to us to handle the other parts. See, when I say this, and I don't mean this in no type of demeaning way, we punk out when it comes to this. Well, I'm just going to pray about it. Let's just let God. No, 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 no. You done prayed about it. Now let's talk about it. Well, just let God handle it. And I'm just going to pray about it because I don't want no trouble with this. I don't want no trouble from this lady, because she has caused all you folks, not you all on here, but the people in the area, to fear her because they don't want the backlash. I don't want her mad at me. Baby, get mad as to, I don't care. So I'm going to the clip. Hold on. So, yeah. So I know. And so you protect the prostitutes, because that's not the first time. This happened on many occasions. You protect the prostitutes because that's your son. Oh, let me tell you another thing that I do know. So this last incident that happened with Reno Fails, and it's okay, I'm going to call names. I'm not afraid. Y'all should know this by now. The last situation that happened with him, because that was the second time he got caught up in a sex sting, and both situations, from what I understand, they were men dressed up as women. Let me say it again. They were men dressed up as women. Well, yeah. So I don't know how to pronounce that first name, and I don't have my glasses on. Is it? Yeah, you said some things the police should. Absolutely. But she was trying to protect herself. She wasn't going to call the police because it would make them look bad, make her look bad. Thank you, Marcellus. Listen, that makes the church look bad. She didn't want that to get out. And you know how it got out? Well, Michael was the first to tell it, but let me tell you how it got out. Yes. Oh, let me go back to that. I'm getting scattered. I don't want to get scattered. So yeah, your son got caught up in sex things, but you protected him. Was it because it was your son that you protected him? You didn't protect me. Cora Fails didn't protect Michael Tripp. Cora Fails didn't protect Jimmy Battles. Cora Fails tried to mute the both of us and smooth it over. Oh no. But your son get caught up in sex things. And he's married. And he is a minister in your church. You protected him. I know you love your sons. It's one of your daughters you don't care for, and that's Kara Baker. You love your sons because when your son left the church, Eugene did, him and his wife, over something that happened with his child and what you tried to do, and they left. He said, I believe my wife. He went over there to Jacksonville and went to church with joined his sister church. Do I think that was a great idea? No, you should have went somewhere else. But she didn't fight him like she fought Kara Baker. When Kara Baker left the church, she kept her away from family functions and told her she would never acknowledge her as a pastor. She's just an evangelist with your crooked mouth. That's what she said to her daughter. because her daughter said it to me. She said, I'll never acknowledge you as a pastor. But your son left. You didn't mistreat him. So you love your sons. We see that. You have a special love for the sons. Thank you, my moves, Miss Rachel. You love your sons, Corbell, but you don't really like one of your daughters, and that's your oldest daughter. Yes, your own daughter, because she left your church to go somewhere else and grow. She started out going to pastor, and she figured, no, let me go somewhere else. And that was a smart move. Carol Baker, if you're listening, that was a smart move. You got under the Loves Church. Now, I don't like how you left the Loves Church, because you left while they were on vacation and started a church. And that I don't like. That's not a cool, smooth, that's not a cool move. All right. They took you under their wings and they nurtured you and your husband, Elder Baker, Brother Baker. Let me tell you, I don't dislike these people. But she disassociated herself with her daughter. There are times that I was somewhere and I had somebody call me saying, well, what's going on with Corfels and her daughter? She was sitting in the church, and I could tell that they're not sitting right. It's something about that oldest daughter that Corbett don't tend to love, and nothing that has come out of her womb she don't like. She told her daughter, you got with your crooked mouth, and she does have a little hook in her crook. Something happened. I think they said something about the baby when they took the thing to pull her out. It just kind of that. And so her mother made fun of that. See, I'm not used to a mother being evil. I've never experienced that. My mother raised 8 children alone, 7 boys and a girl. My sister's the oldest, I'm the youngest. I've never seen such activities in our home. My mother loved all of her children. Never did anything, to publicly. Now, she used to beat us. I didn't get as many beatings as they did. By that time, my mother had me at 36, 37. So she was older. So I got away with a lot of stuff. Oh, Jesus. So we know that you love your sons, Corbell, but and then there's a daughter you love that cusses you out, but you embraces her. But you don't embrace the one that left your church. You see? So you can't expect for a pastor to be a good pastor when they're not a good parent. I just want to let you hear a little something here. And I probably should play the clip first of, I don't have this prepared, but work with me and I'm going to show you. I played it on one of my, Marcellus. Marcellus. Oh, you have said a mouthful. You said, so is it better to have a crook in your heart or your mouth? Man, that just blew me away. That just blew me away. That's true. She talked about the crook in her daughter's mouth, but she refused to talk about the crook in her heart. Marcellus, I got to give you points for that, man. I got to give you points for that. So I'm going to show you. I put it on my other station on another clip, and I wasn't intending to do it now, but I'm going to have to do it because of I just want to show you something. I got to show you something because, hold on. I don't know. Lord, where is it? Part 10. Did they move it? Hold on. I'm going to show you a clip of her preaching at a funeral. Marcellus, I don't know if you saw this or not, but she's preaching at a funeral. I don't know how anybody let this woman come and do anything because she's so foul and wicked and evil. Oh, God, help me. Okay, so I got to find it. Library. Hold on. Let me look in my library. And I thought I saved it. Marcel, this is why I need your expertise because And I can't wait for you to get your stuff going so I can get this to working. I can't find the funeral. Part 10. Okay, so let me see if I can find it. Oh, there we go. I got it. Devil, you're a liar. So at the end of the day, this lady, oh, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm going to show y'all something because I'm going to show you the foolishness of it all. Watch. That's her daughter back there in the back, in that collar, right there in the black. So if you notice, now she said, this is at a funeral, y'all. She said, I know y'all don't like me. I know you don't like me, and I don't like y'all either. This is at a funeral, people. But what I want you to watch, look at the crowd. It's her crowd that pushes her on to perpetuate this type of situation. Watch it again from another angle. You don't even have to listen to her saying, I know you don't like me, and I don't like you either. She said that at a funeral. And on top of that, she was preaching about prayer at a funeral. Yeah, you see that? Listen again. Because she's talking about, so there are Baptist people there, because she don't really like Baptist or Methodist people, because she feel like she's above them and they ain't saved. So that's why she's saying, you drink on this and then you take a break from that. That's my point. You take a break from that, but then take communion, then you might whatever, but then on Sunday, because she's preaching, she's throwing off her steam. Like she hates, if she'll preach on you if she hates you. This is under the guise of preaching, right? At a funeral. This woman that is hurting about her husband's death. Now, I'm going to tell you something else that's crazy. Do you know after this man died, she told Mary Campbell, you still got to pay Deacon Campbell's tithe. How you pay a dead man? How you pay tithe for a dead man? You want money. I always heard it, but I didn't know it. I was in it. Mary Campbell was about to jump on them in Walmart. Hold on again. Listen. Oh, man. Hold on. Look at this. Look at them running and clapping. Let me tell you something. No, look at, and I watch this. She's dancing. Oh, watch. I got to let you hear this. Look. You see that foolishness? And this is what they set up under. They said she was at a funeral last year and she got, I know y'all don't like me. But this is the kind of stuff. This is the lady that allowed George Bloomer to come back after knowing he sodomized me and Michael Tripp. She's talking about discerning the body right. Where was that discernment? And on top of that, I won't let you hear it today, but you found out later, George Bloomer, during that time he came to the church, he was strung out on drugs. You mean to tell me God didn't show you that? She always claimed to have discernment when all she ever had was speculation. Straight foolishness. Can I play it again? Marcella, should I play it again? Oh my, what you said, Rena? She preached at a funeral a year and a half ago, and the first thing she stated was, I know people don't like me. Then started singing the song, They Said I Wouldn't Make It. She must have saw an enemy. That's all she does. Play it again? I'm going to play it again. Watch this foolishness. And you call this preaching? That's why a church won't grow. She was in competition with Pastor Lowe. Pastor Lowe had one of the largest Pentecostal churches here. Pastor Lowe paid off 2 churches, and this one couldn't pay a light bill. Hold on. Hold on, she's talking about communion. Listen, I want you to hear this part. She's really getting on the Baptist people because you know Baptist people drink and all of that. That's her daughter Carol in the back, right there in that collar. She's still asleep. Watch her dance. Look, she has taken a funeral and made it into a play toy. This is at a funeral, y'all. Oh, Jesus. And this is the still stuff that she's still doing. It is, Randall. This is the sad commentary of the loveless church. Corbell got to get it right. She's very bitter. But this is the same lady that's doing all of this, discerning the body right. Allowed George Bloomer to come back after having a conversation with him and knowing what he did. At a funeral, Sheila, she preaching about prayer at a funeral. Anybody know that you, come on, y'all. Anyways, I told her about it during that year. Anyways, let me see if I can find. Oh, it's such a sad situation. But look at the sad part. That was really sad. When she did that, her people started, running. Yeah. You see? It's crazy. It's really crazy. My Lord, my sister calling me. I don't know why she know I'm on live. Ooh, Jesus. What y'all think about that? It is. Listen, Sims, it is a circus. I always tell people it was a circus. And these people are inviting her to the church and because they're scared. They're scared that she's going to have an issue with them not inviting her. But then the service ended up looking like a circus. If you want your church service to stop looking like a circus, please stop inviting the clowns. Let me put this back on Do Not Disturb, and then I'm going to play the other part. Lord. So, yeah, it's a circus, and that's all the church. That's why they can't go live from a service that they're doing. It's a circus. It is a circus because you got a clown up with a microphone. And again, I'll say this. When people get a microphone in their hand, they get bold. And I think it's because it's long, thick, and hard, and it's right there to their mouth. And it reminds them of something maybe they're not getting, and it excites them. She said, I know y'all don't like me, and I don't like you either. And then her people that was in the background, it was at a visit to a Baptist church. They went to clapping for that. Like, lady, you're at a funeral. You don't have a heart for people. It's about you being seen. It's about her being self-consumed. Because she always said, I know y'all don't like me. And she get up. There's another funeral she did. She got up, and because she hated the wife of the husband. I'm not going to talk about that, but it's a mess. And so when you look at all of this foolishness, I want you to hear something with George Bloomer, okay? I know this is simple. I have so much more to play, but I just want you to listen to this. Self-promoting, but the church has never grown, Marcellus. They moved into a bar, and then they took on the spirit of that bar. It's circus. It's a circus. It is really a circus. It is really a circus. Nobody's calling her to preach. She got everybody in there in collars. Nobody's calling them to preach. She want to control your whole life. Now, remind you, I talked about this on another live. This is the church that when people got married, they went and got married. They crossed over to Georgia, got married, and they came back and told her they were married because she was going to try to control who they married. And even her son did it. But Carol Baker did it. She went and got married and came back and told her mama, I'm married now. I done married Brother Baker, but she wasn't allowed to call him honey or baby. She had to call him. She said, you better not ever call him honey or husband or baby. You have to always call him Brother Baker. And that's how that woman ended up in her marriage, calling her husband Brother Baker. She couldn't have, even because of her mama. That's manipulation and control. Why is everybody in your church going to get married and telling you? Because she wanted to control who you married. I remember my godmother, Pastor Edna McCoy, Corbell tried to get her to marry Greg. She said, I don't want no Greg. She went and got married in Georgia. Came back. I believe it was Georgia. And everybody, because at that time you can go to Georgia and get married without, waiting. So these people came back. Carol Baker, when they got married to Robert Baker, came back and said, hey, I'm married now. Because that's the only church that could hold this man's family and the people. Because her church is really a tiny box. So she at this Baptist, I think this is a Methodist church, but there's a lot of Baptist people in there. So she preaching on them smoking cigarettes and drinking and then taking communion. Yes. It's witchcraft, Marcellus. She could not call her husband or honey or baby. She told us you better not call him. You address him as Brother Baker. Oh, Lord, that's all I'm saying. When people in your church get married, they can't tell you they get married because they know you're gonna be against it and you can try to control who they marry. Or daughter Lisa, it's Lisa Tillery now. We were all friends. Granted, now, see, they don't know I remember any of this stuff. Lisa Tillery left. She was dating Bernard Lawson. That was the musician. And her mama didn't like that. Lisa told me, she said, Battles, I am joining the military because I'm not going to let my mama control me like she's doing the rest of them. Your daughter joined the military. She'd rather fight a war in the army than to be in your house under your control. But she came back and got under control. Listen, I bet you they can't call me out on it because everything I'm saying is true because I was there. I was there when she slapped Carol Baker for going to be with Robert Baker on a Wednesday night. She didn't show up to church, and Robert Baker was living with him, and his sister was living together right there on the corner up the street from Corbell House, right there on 9th Street. And so Carol didn't come to church. I was standing there. And Carol walked through that door. She said, Carol, where have you been? She said, oh, I was down there with Brother Baker. And Corbell hell fails. She's apostle fails now. Reached back and slapped the living daylights out of her in her face. I'm standing there as a teenager. I've never seen a mother slap or hit her adult child. She was mad. Ooh. You see? Control, manipulation. I was like, oh, I could still feel that sting today. And was not allowed. She was only allowed to call him Brother Baker. Let me let you hear George Bloomer. All right, y'all ready? Let me know if you can hear. One day I'll be able to put it up. Here we go. You ready? Go. This is just a little snippet of a conversation between he and I. Unheard though, right? Oh.
We started the prophetic college then, the College of Prophets, and then the prophetic college, and we had a little riff and stuff like that. We started when we got to the
Can y'all hear?
College. One of the things that I was shouting out more than anybody else, and said, we're going to do this thing. It's got to be correction, and we have to, be honest with people, and the prophets have to be honest with people. And I'm not a prophet. I'm more of an apostolic voice, and we have to, we have to bring correction. And so I'm the one that was shouting it out louder than everybody in the room. And so when this came to me, if it falls on me that I have to correct it, then I have to correct it. That's it. But you have to know before we have the conversation that there's no games to be played. I would not. Are you going to allow me to speak freely? Please speak freely. Okay.
I just finished crying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck with your soul. I have one of the most truest and purest deliverance ministries around.
Hey, you're not
delivered. An apology to you is really, really old in the beginning of the conversation, because I deal with people who've been through all kinds of shit, and I have to myself. So I think that the Lord, that God is, testing us, and I just wanted people to know, and I didn't put my fist up. So I didn't put my fist up and say, this mother effer come to me. I don't have that kind of thing inside me. But they were sharing some things with me. That's why I want you to talk. They were sharing some things with me, and I didn't respond to them. I just said, that didn't happen. And I didn't respond to them because I needed to talk to you after this particular situation happened. So once this situation happened, the only person I needed to talk to was Battles, and I didn't even know your name.
It's been so long ago.
Yeah, what was your first name?
Jimmy.
Huh?
Jimmy.
All right. And so that's the situation. That I'm not putting anything on, we were young and stupid or anything like that. My account of things that happened and your account of things that happened, we can work through them, we can talk to them and stuff like that. But I'm not here to bullshit you, to dog you out, to use my status and my power to do. It's just not me. I'm not doing it. And at the end of this conversation, when individuals come to us to need healing and what have you, we have this arrow in our quiver. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
I appreciate that.
All right, listen. You heard it. Yeah, so, yes, Sheila, he is cussing. But what I want people to hear, I want us to get past him cussing. And I want you to hear the violation. And I know Christians, and I said, Christians, they get stuck on him cussing. This ain't nothing new for him. But if we can pass that and hear the content. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Hold on. I didn't even plan to do this part, but hold on.
Hey, there's a lot of big boys that are confused too, okay?
Yeah, I'm not confused though. I'm too old of a cat to be.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. And so that's no one could counsel this conversation. You have to have it. I have to hear it. I have to say things you have to hear, and that's that. And so I'm not here to fight you in any sense of the word. I'm not here to fight you in sense of the word. I'm not here to to tell you what you saying you a lie and blah blah. None of that. My reason for asking you, when did you see me after? My reason for asking you, have you ever saw me? Because I think that if you have, at some point, you would have been able to say, you know what, I could call him and talk to him.
Yeah, but see, I haven't listened to anybody. I mean,
right.
I haven't, and the thing that triggered me was that because I'm right across the bridge from New York now, like now, and so the thing that triggered because I kept seeing this ad. I heard Larry talking about the
really prophetic college.
The prophetic college. It changed from synagogue and whatever, but. And I said, I'm going to go. And I looked at the flyer and I broke. My heart started racing. I said, I really want to go, but I don't think I can do this.
All right. Jesus. He said he didn't come to F with my soul. Yeah, I get it. I'm not shocked by any of it. Hold on.
I just had this conversation with another bishop, right? I just feel like this
okay,
is
so that's going to be it. So you've heard 2 clips. You saw Cora Bell and her, whatever you call it. They call it preaching. I don't call it preaching. Huh? What'd you say, Gail? No, that was George Bloomer. Yeah, that was George Bloomer talking. Yeah, so my healing process started when I went to Citadel, when I left Florida and moved to Atlanta. And it was Gail Patterson who told me about Citadel. She said, have you ever heard of Nathan Simmons' church? I said, no, I never heard of it. But when I got there, I needed that. I needed that male figure and that male leadership. Isn't that something, Rena? Yep. Marcellus, we're not shocked by that language. That man uncussed. Listen, this ain't no new cussing. It came out too freely. That is my least, and I get it, Sheila. Yeah, I know you said right. I was listening. Yes, I feel you. And I know it's surprising to some people that, he said he didn't come to F with my soul. There are bits and pieces. I'm telling you, I'm going to play here and there. But I need you to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscription button. Hit that notification bell. You'll see a little bell under there. Hit that and then hit all so that you can receive all of the notification. Marcel, I wish I knew how to bring you in on this. I just would like to hear your take on it. But, I don't know how to do that. And I'm working from this little mangle-fingle thing here. And hopefully I'll be able to do it once you teach me how to do what I'm doing. I need everybody that's on here to hit like and then subscribe. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I need 1,000 people to subscribe. Share this video, share this live on your Facebook channel, on your whatever social media platform that you're on. Please share this on your platform, because there are so many people who are a part of a demoniacal church under the guise of loving God, and this is God's church and this is God's way. But when you have a leadership that is so wicked, my cash app is, thank you, Marcellus. My cash app is the $ and then my name, JIMMYBATTLES. If you would like to cash app me, great. Thank you, Marcellus. Listen, I want people to come out of bondage. Yeah, I want people to come out of bondage and be able to deal with, because it's a powerful force when you're sitting under that type of leadership. And so the moment you leave, they bash you, and they will, thank you. They will try to make your life a living hell. This lady has fought me for 30 some years because she couldn't control me, and I, to her, seemingly successful. And so listen, she spoke death on me and told me that it would be I'll never be bringing you back in a box. What is that as a leader? You got a leader that doesn't want to see you progress? You're not a leader. You're a viper. You're a snake. You're a wolf. I don't care anything about people being in their regalia and they're dressed up in their collars. Dogs wear collars. Cats wear collars. My whole goal is to help people. I'm not here to listen. I know you hear me talking and calling names. I'm not here to dog them out. I'm here to reveal the truth, because the truth is what's going to stand. The truth is what's going to stand. But look at that clip. You saw her people running and clapping and oh yeah. This is at a funeral. You have no remorse. No remorse. This woman has lost her husband, and you're preaching on prayer, and you throwing off all your evil and hate and your discontentment off on people in the audience that you don't like. And you have the audacity to say in a microphone, I know y'all don't like me, and I don't like you either. Oh, Jesus. Gail, I love you. Thank you for coming in. I know your dad had an experience with her. This lady is something else. And she's still, I don't feel so. I'm not saying this for you to feel sorry for her. Oh, she old now, but she's always been what she is and still is that. She didn't forget. She's still mean. She's still cantankerous. She's still nasty. Still nasty. Telling people not to listen to my live. She told her people that. Don't listen to it. And if you do, that means you're for him. Now you're telling people you can't listen to what he's saying because you are afraid that my truth is going to reveal your lies. You did it. And when I'm going to say something else. When George Bloomer was in Florida and did what he did, he blasted Anthony Hill. Sure did. Talked about Anthony. He said, well, Anthony Dion Hill, the singer, it sounded like Shirley Caesar. He blasted him. He said, well, Shirley knows that Anthony is gay. That's why he's not married. So it got back to Anthony. They told Anthony what happened. Anthony flew in to just talk with us about what was said, what George Bloomer said. I mean, it's not like Shirley could do anything to George because George Bloomer was her associate pastor. Shirley couldn't do anything to George. They all know about each other. And when you got strong ankles and wearing Timberlands, what you gonna say? And seemingly, Corfels went to all of these conferences that had all of these types of people that she preached against. A lot of the conferences she went to was a bunch of lesbians. Those are my sisters. They were lesbians. If I start naming some of the people she brought to a church, you go look at them and you be like, yeah, one looked like a linebacker. So no, there couldn't be any discipline because she couldn't say anything about him and he couldn't because they all know about each other. And be that it may, do what you do. But don't make me look like I'm the problem. When you brought in a preacher and he sodomized me and Michael Tripp, then you turn around and brought him back and said the only reason I'm, Brother Back, this is just how she talk. Brother Back, mouth and everything. Brother Bales, the only reason I brought him back because he's going to help me get some of the other big time preachers that I've been wanting to come to my church. What is that to tell a member? It was basically, I don't care what he did to y'all. He's going to help me. On that note, I must go. If you want to cash out me, it's $ in my name, $JIMMYBATTLES. You can cash out me if you like. I'm not begging you. I'm not asking you. But thank you, Marcellus, for bringing it up. But thank you. I have so much more to talk about. I am writing my book. I need y'all to support it. I need you to support my YouTube channel. Share this. I want you to hit like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you so much for listening. And I hope you all have a great day. If you got any issues, if you're having problems in your church, get out of there. If you're being touched by a leader and not by God, get out of there. Call the police. Get out of there. During the time that I was coming up, we tried, because we were taught to cover things up, not talk about it. Thank you so much, Marcellus. And people, y'all go over there and subscribe to Mad Church Disease. You see it out there? That's Marcellus. Go over there and subscribe to his channel. He has a lot to say. He too was in the church. I mean, we had our dealings in the church. And the church system failed us. My point is, because I had somebody say, well, why don't you say good things about the church? I am. But I want to talk about the system that failed us. That system. I'm after that system. People like Corbell that would allow people to come in and molest and sodomize or what have you. Can you imagine how many more people probably went through something, they covered it up? Can you imagine that? I'm just happening to be the one to talk about it. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine me and Micah probably was not the only victims to the people she brought to the church or the people that has been a part of her church? Can you imagine that? Victims that can't say anything because they're ashamed, they're embarrassed, or they've been paid off. You see where I'm at with this? You see where I'm at, don't you? It's my story. They can't even get mad about my story. I've had people to disconnect. Listen, if she sees and knows that you are supporting, they're going to dismiss you. That's just how they are. But this is the same lady that said her and my sisters are friends. But you tell people to disconnect from me because you don't like me. Why do you think you can be my sister's friend and you hate her little brother? I'm her little brother. Y'all can't be friends. How many of us have them? Let's be friends. All right, so I must go. You know that the church would say, may God be with you. May God be with you. May God be with you till we meet again. And listen, may God be with you. Share your story. Speak up and speak out. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Like, share, and hit that notification bell and subscribe. Thank you. God bless.